All right. Excited for our second episode of our podcast. We're down at the 12 Hotel in Midtown. We got a couple new guests. My son Cam and D Grissom here today. Just going to share some stories and just talk about where the Hills originated from and the what's and whys, and try to get their perspective as to how they felt about once we started and where they're at now. So for me, 2020 happened. It was really 2019, 2020, and it just seemed like the world has stopped. And, for us, baseball is part of our world. And they shut all the high schools down. They shut down the colleges. They shut down minor league baseball. And we really didn't know what to do. And so me and Marquis, we talked about it. It wasn't any timeline as to when baseball was going to start back. And in our minds, we felt like it could be a year, it could be 2 years. We didn't know. The pandemic was happening. There was all kind of craziness going on in the news. And so we got together and said, hey, man, we can't let a whole year go by where we're not training or doing anything with our boys. He said, my property's available. We can go back there and we can create a makeshift training facility, and that's what we did. And we really didn't know exactly what we was going to do exactly, but we did know that we was going to make sure these guys got in shape, and it was going to be a test to see if they really loved the game of baseball, because as Marquis states all the time, you really don't know who you can be until you get in the best shape possible. And that was our goal, was just to get those guys in the best shape possible. So we set the date, and we had Cam and D come out. I think Gigi was there. Who else was there with us?
Yeah, I think the first day was just us, and Gigi might have been there a couple of days later, and then Jaden.
Yeah, Jaden was with us,
who's now a pilot, who I think the baseball really changed and had an impact on his life, because he was working his way to become a starter on a JV team at Riverwood High School, and then all of a sudden he got picked up to the varsity squad where he didn't get a chance to play as much. And he didn't get a chance to play as much, and he didn't like the fact that they would play a game. He didn't get a chance to play. Then he had to put the tarp on the field. He had to rake the field. He had to drag the field, and that kind of, shot him away from playing baseball at the next level. And also, he had a chance to watch D play at Georgia Tech, and the stress that he was having, just being at Tech, going to school, going to class every day, and then finally getting out there and pitching, and he did okay. He didn't do as well as he wanted to do, and he's seen that pressure coming from D. I guess y'all had conversations, but then he transitioned over into, I'm going to get my pilot license at 16. And he ended up getting his pilot license at 17, and he's flying. And he's part of the Hill Boys, too, as well. But we was trying to just do what was right for our kids, get them in the best shape, give them an opportunity to try to get to that next level in their own way. But we knew getting in shape and continue to work was going to be a part of their makeup and build to get to that next level. So, it kind of worked out, but we still got work to do.
Yeah, so for me, I Cam knows that I'm kind of OC a little bit when it comes to baseball, maybe a lot of bit. And I know he thought I was he thought I was crazy when the younger he was. He thought I was crazy because he used to look at me crazy when we used to have 2-a-days and 3-a-days and stuff like that. And so I'm curious to just kind of know your thoughts when we talked about going over to the Hill, and we first started running up and down that hill and doing the different stuff that we was doing. Kind of want to know your thoughts.
My freshman year of high school, I got cut short, and the same way you feeling about how you said, man, what about baseball? What we gonna do? We gonna miss a year of training? What we gonna do? And, I really took the that first year on the hill, like, yeah, it was tough. Like, we was doing some crazy stuff. I ain't gonna lie.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we was running around that hill. They say one time, we was doing it about 3 times. Like, you know, but like, again, it that summer for me was the best summer I ever had playing baseball, and it jump started my career to where it is today. And yeah, of course I thought it was crazy. Of course I thought it was too much. But now that I'm older and I got a better understanding of why I was doing it, I totally understand why I had to go through all that and why I had to go through those hardships to get to where I am today.
D?
Yeah, that was my senior year, you know. So I was trying to get drafted to get ready for Georgia Tech, either one that was gonna happen, and it was around March, so I knew I still had to be throwing, still had to be pitching and everything, because I never knew what time we was gonna start back up. So, but yeah, we was running a lot, just staying in shape. I feel like that changed my work ethic, like for the rest of my career. It just I feel like it created a system, and instead it had to get disciplined and getting up every morning when we don't have nothing else to do for the rest of the day. It made me realize, like, when you get it done in the morning, it's you got it out the way and you got the rest of the day to do whatever you want. So I realized, I know it was we was dying early in there, but I feel like we was appreciative of it after.
Yeah, it's no easy way to get around that part. You know, you have to go through it, and we knew we was gonna get backlash from y'all. We knew that y'all didn't quite understand why we said be on time and get there a little early. And Coach Grip always talk about, you know, when you run around that property, you know, basically think about, you know, why you here. You know, getting your mind ready and getting it right for what we're trying to accomplish. And for me, man, just watching you guys, you know, I say it was about, what you say, Grip, it was about 10 days, 2 weeks they kind of fought us.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I think about at least 2 weeks, you know, for some of the guys. Cam might have been a little short of 2 years. But he Cam bought in. But Lawrence tried to, when he first got there, he tried to find a short way out, and taking the shortcut. You know, it was a little griping and complaining. It was expected. So, you know, I think it was 2 things for me, Lou, and you probably 2 out of the 3 things that you thought about when we was trying to train these guys up. Is 1, to get in shape. 2 was to have a routine. And 3 was the discipline. Just have discipline on the baseball field. You know, and you with the discipline and being fundamentally sound, that's what's going to prepare you to the next level. And we couldn't tell y'all that right off the bat. We wanted you to experience a little bit of it, then go have some success, then come back and experience a little bit more. And it's just like where we're at now. You guys are planning to have pretty good careers, but when we come back to all season, it's going to be more. It's going to be some new stuff. And it's going to be some of the things that we told you guys last year that you experienced this year. And it's going to happen every single year. And you can look at the guys that are in the big leagues now. Aren't we having some of them same conversations about the game? So I want to know from both of you guys, like, you know, yeah, you learned this from the hill, you learned that from the hill. So where are you at now as far as your work ethic during the season and your training during the season? And how has the hill helped you in that perspective to be able to take what you learned from the hill and apply it to your everyday skill set?
I would have to say, like, this is probably my first year I actually bought in and 100% started to apply everything that I worked on in the off season and going into the season, and staying true to it and going about it the right way. But yeah, like the lessons and the conversations we have on the hill between all of us, man, it's big time. Like, I'm finally now seeing what y'all talking about how y'all go about saying things, about how this gonna happen, how that's gonna happen. I'm finally seeing it for my own, and thankfully I got y'all told me, like, oh, this is gonna happen. So I have a better way about going about it, and I think that's just a blessing. to have that in our corner, especially the guys we got in there, especially you two as our coaches. And I think it's a blessing. And even as the years comes, like you said, this offseason we're going to go harder, like just to be able to learn that more, the more information we can get. And I just know we can get even better and get closer to our goal every year.
So Cam, let me ask you this, and I'm glad to hear that. So, the first year in A-ball, tell me some of the things that you really learned about yourself and the game that propel you to get to AA.
For me, my first year of pro ball, like I missed all spring training. I was injured, but that was my fault because I didn't put myself in a position to be healthy. Went to low A, thinking that played in rookie ball. Man, rookie ball was easy. Like if this is pro ball, then man, it's going to be a breeze. Went to Daytona, and of course it wasn't a breeze. It was something I had never faced before, and I had to deal with that adversity and just grow up. And I always tell everybody, I'd be like, hey, I'm very blessed that I had that year and got knocked down on my feet for the first time in my life. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm in AA, now I build off that. I build off that Daytona season. I build off that Dayton season. I build off that first spring training, and now I know what I need to do. Now I know what I need to accomplish to get to my goal, and that struggle, I built a champion, and I'm thankful for it.
Mm-hmm. Same question for you, D. What do you think about from Wilmington to Fredericksburg to now AA to now AAA? So some of those things you experienced at the different level, how would you relate from what you learned on the hill that propel you to A-ball to AA to AAA and hopefully get both of you guys to the big leagues in the next couple of years? What was a couple of the specific things that you learned from the hill that kind of catapult both of you guys to that next level?
Yeah, I feel like the main thing about the hill, I feel like, is the conversation that we have before we work out. I feel like everything that y'all talk about actually happens in pro ball, and I mean, y'all been through it, y'all seen it, and we haven't seen it yet, so y'all just prepare us for that. But in 2023, that was my first full year, and I was talking about finding a routine. And when I got to spring training, I wasn't doing the same workouts that we was doing in the hill, and I got injured. I had a shoulder impingement, so I missed like the first month and a half of the season. And ever since then, I realized like having that routine and not stop doing what we doing, but just like do it for maintenance instead of just doing it for building up and everything like that. So really, I feel like the main thing is y'all talked about is just not staying too high or too low and just keep working because it's gonna pay off. And then every time we've been on the hill, we seen the hard work pay off. So I feel like we all definitely bought in. If we not bought in now, we definitely bought in.
Yeah. So that's for me. That's what it was all about. When I came through the minor leagues and got to the major leagues, I had guys like your dad to tell me. You get what I'm saying? So nowadays, you don't have many ex-players as coaches or at the big league level, or guys that look like you who can relate to you and really help you understand what you're going to go through as a player. So, for me, it was just sharing those experiences with you guys, making sure you guys understood what you was going to go through and had something to go off of when things got tough. And so we knew that if you can run up this hill and do all these exercises and show up every day and give your best effort every single day, that we knew that you guys were going to be all right because the talent was always there. The talent was there. So we had to make sure we got your mind right, and we had to make sure that you was building yourself up to play those, 160 games, 180 games, whatever it is, and remain healthy. Nowadays, man, I feel like health is a tool. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of guys are breaking down. Mm-hmm. Why are they breaking down? Because they're not in shape. Mm-hmm. Guys are lifting the heavy weights and doing all this stuff. Baseball players don't lift like that. You know, you have to be wiry strong. You have to strengthen up the right muscles. So that was all part of the reason why we had you out on the hill. And for me, on the hill, like I say all the time, you hear the birds chirping. You're around nature. You know, it's not a lot of chaos. So we had y'all attention. You know, and Coach said all the time, you go as hard as you can go. Right? Don't he say that? We don't make you do anything that you don't want to do. It was up to you. Here's the blueprint. This is what we're going to do. Now you go as hard as you can go. Because ultimately that's what it's going to take. It's going to be about what you put in. That's what you're going to get out. And y'all bought in. And it's exciting to see. And I mean, as you see, the work you're putting in, you're seeing the fruits of that labor, man. You know, and it's fun to watch. Again, as a fan, as a dad, as an ex-player, as a coach, just watching guys succeed and elevate. That's fun to watch. And hopefully y'all having as much fun as we having watching y'all do it. And so that's what, for me, that's what the Hill is all about. In a nutshell, it's just getting like-minded individuals together, making sure y'all got the right information, making sure that y'all putting in the right work, and then you benefiting from it. So, you know, that's kind of my spiel as to, you know, the what's and whys and why I'm so excited about what's to come too.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Lou, 100%. But dedication and commitment, you know, that kind of come along with being focused and, you know, trying to find how I'm going to get to my dream. And Cam, with your dad, I used to get on him all the time to back off you a little bit and, you know, let you thrive. And then, and I kept telling him, I said, man, Cam is going to be just fine. You know what I'm saying? And after that Daytona season and you came back home, you worked a little bit different. You know, same thing with you, D. You came home, and I always tease guys about how you and Nolin run through that ladder and hurdles. Don't nobody run through them ladders and hurdles like you and Nolin. It was a whole different mindset, and that's what we're trying to create, to get your mind focused and locked in for those 2 hours. However long the game take, 2 hours. And again, to see you mature, man, and grow up, and like I told your dad, I said, he's on his way. He's on his way. He showed me a video of you, I think in the first or second, whatever, spring training game, and you took off and stole the base. Didn't even look like the same guy. He said, that's Cam. I said, that's not Cam. And it was Cam Collier. And at that point, I told your dad, I said, man, he's on his way. And that's what we like to see out of you guys. Get a chance to take that information and then go apply it to your game, and then go out and have some success at it, and then the light goes off. And that's what done happened with the both of you guys. And that's what makes us proud as dads, as coaches, as instructors, and as a baseball scout, which your dad is. And for me as a baseball man, we know what's in store for you guys. And now we know how to push a little bit more, and the relationships are a little bit better. And that's what I love about all of our relationship, man. Me and him, we don't even argue about anything anymore. And that ended before we got to college. And you know, you and your dad be going at it because we still gonna push as dads. But man, to have the conversation where we can talk about baseball, and nobody get mad, and we learning and growing.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a special person. That's a special player. And we ain't gonna back off, and we gonna be right there for you to support you and keep on leading you, try to guide you, and give you your space. And that's what I love about this group that we have. And that's why we got to be careful who we let in this group. Because if they don't work like you, and they can't stay focused like you, anybody that brings negative energy and bring you down, they can't be a part of this. And not only that, that's going to help you off the field. Because you only associate yourself with people that can help you grow and develop, not bring you down. And I say this all the time. When that space shuttle go up, right? It drops some stuff off, don't it? So it can keep going.
Right.
And that's what we have to do as athletes. If you want to find your dream and your goals, you on the way up, you got to drop some people off.
That's facts. That's facts.
Well, talk to us about some of the things that, you know, the second half is coming up. Y'all both had pretty good first halves. Talk about second half goals, man, and what you're trying to accomplish, for the rest of 2025.
I got one goal in mind, and it's the goal in my head that I know I'm gonna go get. And you know what I'm saying. You said I had a good first half, but I don't like to think about it like that. I like to think about my end goal, and that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. I'm never in the present. I'm always in the future. So, I'm just gonna keep building, keep working, and ultimately get to it.
I feel like this is the most I've learned in a year. Definitely being in the upper levels in AA, AAA. I feel like the main thing. I feel like the first half was mostly about me learning about myself and who I am as a pitcher. And I feel like I definitely learned a lot, and even with the ups and downs and struggles. And I feel like I'm excited for the second half because I feel like I learned so much that I could apply, and with our talks, just to go out there and dominate the second half. And you never know what can happen when you're doing good and when you're working hard. I know if I just keep my head down, no matter what, I can have the success that I want.
Yeah, and so we're seeing that, man. We're seeing you guys both dealing with adversity. Had some rough patches, but we're seeing y'all just battle through it and keep going. And that's the beauty of seeing you guys mature, because baseball is going to throw challenges at you nonstop. Some of the things you can control, some of the things you cannot. It's just the way that the game is. But we know that y'all gonna be all right because we know how you guys work. We know what y'all thinking about. We know, what's on your hearts. And so we don't worry about if y'all gonna fold or give up or whatever, or it's gonna be a long patch, because we already seen it in the off season. Showing up and seeing how y'all work and how focused you are. A little downturn in the season is not going to affect you. It's only going to make y'all a little bit tougher.
Stronger.
It's going to make you tougher. And that's what I've been seeing, man. So we talk about it all the time, Of course, we dads, man. We get a little nervous. We want to see y'all do great all the time. And then I have to realize baseball is a game of failure. It's a game of failure. But, what's our little motto? You win or you learn. You don't lose. So we know that you guys are learning. You still got a lot to learn. I'm learning from y'all, because sometimes I just have to be quiet, just chill, have to relax, and just let y'all kind of work through some things. But I'm proud of what I see. I really like the way you guys are going about your business. That work is going to pay off for y'all, man. So I'm excited for what's to come, man, for sure.
Yeah, me too. So I want to talk real quick about you two participating in this future game. And I was just thinking about this last night, that I went back and replayed you playing in the futures game, Cam, last year, hitting the home run, winning MVP, and then D this year pitching in the futures game and get the win. It just hit me. I'm like, God almighty.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Look at those boys. You know what I'm saying? And it's not by mistake.
No.
It's because of the work that you guys put in and how you're maturing in the game as far as your work ethic and your development. And that's what I always preach to you guys. You can't let nobody disturb that. And it's easy to get distracted, especially when you're not going good. It may be a teammate, it may be a fan, it may be a girlfriend, it may be whatever, but you guys are able to battle through that. So talk about, how the future game impacted your game. Because D said something to me the other day, like, man, this game was like the big league. It changed my life. So y'all talk about that a little bit.
No, it did. It felt life changing the other day. It was I ain't never really played on the Braves field ever before, besides like in high school. So it was crazy just meeting everybody and realizing like that you close. It's like it feel life changing, because like all the media, all the stuff, and then playing against you, that was the craziest thing you could have, especially in Atlanta, being at home too. So it was crazy to experience that. That's why I felt like it was life changing because I never had media like that. I never had all the stuff, all the events that went on. Even the coaches that we had, I had Chip Jones as a manager. So just having those people, it was just crazy to have.
Cam?
You know, last year, you know, me and my dad, we had talked about. I've been talking about going to the Futures game forever. Like I always said, I want to go to the Futures game. I want to go. And before, I'd always said I just want to go. But when they finally said you can get invited, I was like, I gotta win the MVP. And you know, like I tell a story to my dad all the time. I don't know if I should be sharing it, but you know, I got to the Futures game. I'm excited. You know how D was talking about it's a bunch of media, or whatever. I felt a little disrespected, and you know, if you know me, you know, I always say when I get disrespected, I tell them I'm gonna let them know something. Mm-hmm. So I said I'm gonna win MVP, and I set it in stone right there. Went to the game, and I just let myself be free, and it happened. And the moment when it happened, man, it was amazing. You know, I got to see while I was around the base, and I got to see my whole family. I got to see my mom, my dad, my two sisters in the crowd while around, and it was just like I could have cried. Like for them to be there, the biggest moment of my life, one of the biggest moments in my life. It was a special sight, and also, you know. To join the lineage of the Hill Boys, like all the Hill Boys went to the Futures game. You know, D been in the Futures game, Law, Mike, Chan, like we all been to the Futures game, Tink. And just be able to go there and play on the stage, like play where I'm gonna be playing in the future, like in the big leagues. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That's, you know, you had said to me, it's like I'm hit a bomb. You say a lot of stuff like that, and but every time you say it, you do it.
I manifest
stuff like that. You do. You say little stuff like that, and then you do it. And when that happened, that was big time. Yeah, that was big time.
It's all that work we put in, all the work we put in since I've been young. It's just showing itself, and I just got to do it on the biggest stage in front of the people that mean the most to me. So it was good.
And y'all deserve to be on the big stage. That's how you work. When you work in silence and you work behind the scenes, y'all know where we work at. We not in no fancy stuff. We back on the hill. We in Fayetteville in the cages. It's grimy, but we do that on purpose. Don't you know we can probably go to any facility and y'all can go work out. Y'all can call anybody and we can work at it anywhere. No, we want to be. Hey, we're not gonna forget our roots. Right? We're going to work hard. Yeah. We're not worried about it. It don't matter where you at if you're getting the right information and you're around the right people. That's kind of what that's about. Right? We can go, Mike probably can call the Braves and we can get the Braves Stadium and work out. You can call the Georgia Tech and go work out over there. Right? We can go anywhere. But for me, it's about us being where we at. And you're looking around like this is kind of where we started at, and if we working hard, man, we can get better anywhere. And that's what y'all do. That's what y'all do. We can hook y'all up to all kind of wires and gadgets and stuff like that, but nah, we gonna lift those weights in the corner over there. We gonna throw the little machine. We gonna play catch in the cage. We gonna get out on the field. We gonna work on the right stuff, and we gonna make sure your minds are right.
Because that's all that really matter.
That's it. And when y'all go out on the field, then it's going to show.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we're never going to flip it around and look for the glamorous stuff. The glamorous stuff come out to the grind. And that's what y'all doing. So that's why you shining. That's why you got the win. That's why you was the MVP. Right? That's why Mike was a rookie of the year. That's why Law is doing what he's doing. That's why it's because y'all put the work in and y'all push each other. That's what I like the most. I love the fact that I don't have to say nothing to you no more. Because they do it. Coach Grip gets you. You know what I mean? And if anybody lacking, guess what? Y'all all on each other. Like, what you doing?
We always motivate each other.
And that's what we're trying to create. And so the next thing is, so when we bring in these junior year boys, that's just y'all got to do for them. Y'all got to do it for them. They watching y'all. You know, they hearing all kind of information from all over the place, right? But if they hear from you and they can see you, then we know they gonna get the right information too. Now they head in the right direction. So now we keep creating opportunities for kids to realize their dreams and goals. That's what this is about, man.
That is the Hill Boys, right? That's what it's all about. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to share? Any experiences this year, last year, or anything y'all want to talk about that's gonna grab some people's attention?
Nah. The only thing I can say is the Hill Boys on the come up. I already got Mike and Law and Chan in the league. We got me and D on the way. We got Tink on the way. We got Spikes on the way. We got Nine on the way. We coming. We're gonna come up. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it's being exciting. I feel like these next couple of years, I feel like we're gonna take over by storm.
For sure.
And I know the work ain't gonna stop. You know, it's more motivating every day seeing the bros I grew up with, and even know Lauren, Mike, and Chan since 8, 9 years old. So it's actually like seeing them in the big leagues. It makes it no different than us. So I feel like we for sure got a chance to make it.
That's awesome, man. So look, I heard, last year I heard that in the midway during the season. Well, when I get home, I'm gonna do this. And I done heard that this year already. Man, in the off season, I'm gonna do this. You still got a whole half left.
Yeah.
Do that whole half you got left, and remember to get up and work out. Get your workout in before you go to that ballpark, because you got your work, then you got the teamwork. Right? And being a good teammate, do your work, then do the teamwork. Make sure you eat right, make sure you get that rest. All those things are important to your success. And continue to, go at this like it's your last game. Both of you guys been in that futures game. That's the closer you're going to get to being like you're in the big leagues. Like you said, with the media. They had over 50, 60 people in the media spectrum this past Saturday. I mean, it was unbelievable. It surprised me. That's more than we ever had in the major leagues. Because you got all kind of people in there, right? Different nationalities in that locker room. So you got people from all over the country, all over the world, trying to do interviews. And that was very impressive to see all those people in that locker room. So you got to continue to do the work, continue to grind, and continue to grow, and continue to stay focused. That's what's going to prepare you to that next level, man. And I'm proud of y'all. Y'all on y'all way. And me and Lou is getting in the lab, getting creative. We're going to hopefully have hit tracks in there so we can give y'all some live data on balls off the bat and spin rate for the pitchers as well. We got the equipment. Hopefully we're going to set that up. And then we're going to take it to the next level. Whether we're in Fayetteville, whether we're at Gresham, no matter where we're at, like Coach Lou said, we're going to put that work in. And I think you guys got enough evidence now to know that, you got to do the work and trust us in what we're saying and what we're doing, and that you got a great supporting cast. All right, so proud of y'all, man. And just got to keep it going.